Hello, and welcome to Getting Started in the California Cannabis Industry, a practical guide to beginning your process. This program is being presented by Agora Business Services and the law offices of Dale Schafer. I am your narrator, Heather Schafer, CEO of Agora Business Services and legal assistant at the law offices of Dale Schafer. The purpose of this program is to assist new and existing California cannabis operators in their transition into the legal regulated market through guidance and education in the basic processes. Today, we will be covering business structure, choosing a business structure for your cannabis business. A solid and well thought out business structure can make all the difference in your success. C Corporation. A C Corporation is the most common type of corporation. What are the advantages? Well, it's the best shield against personal liability. The shareholders of a C Corporation will only be liable for the debts, obligations, and liabilities of the corporation up to the amount of the respective investment. It's the best entity to attract venture capital, and it's a flexible capital structure. What are the disadvantages? It's not a pass-through entity. It is subject to double taxation, which means that corporate profits are taxed twice, and any losses do not pass through to its shareholders. It has onerous formalities and record keeping, and it's costly to set up and maintain. S Corporation. An S Corporation is a pass-through entity and thus is not subject to double taxation. What are the advantages? Well, it's an effective shield against personal liability. It's a pass-through tax treatment. The profits and losses of an S Corporation flow directly through the corporate entity to the individual shareholders, which is often desirable. And it's easy to convert to a C Corporation. What are the disadvantages? There's a limitation on type and number of shareholders. The biggest disadvantage of an S Corporation is that the shareholders may be 1. Individuals who are U.S. citizens or residents, 2. Estates, and 3. Certain eligible trusts. The number of shareholders is capped at 100. Also, there's a limitation on capital structure, and there are onerous formalities and record keeping. Limited liability company. A limited liability company, also known as an LLC, is a relatively new entity and can best be described as a hybrid between a C corporation and a general partnership. What are the advantages? Well, there is extraordinary flexibility. Probably the most appealing aspect of an LLC is its extraordinary flexibility, including the distribution of cash and other assets, the allocation of income or losses, etc. It's also an effective shield against personal liability, and it's got a pass-through tax treatment. What are the disadvantages? Complexity. The most significant disadvantage of an LLC is its complexity, particularly from a tax and accounting perspective. It's unattractive to venture capitalists and other investors. Also, there's a limitation on capital structure. The wheel and spoke method. The wheel and spoke method is, simply put, the method of setting up a management corporation with intellectual property and each cannabis license assigned to a pass-through LLC. Through the management corporation, one would hold all bank accounts, purchase all supplies, employ and pay all employees, and all other such business duties. For all pass-through LLCs, it would be smart to limit the expenses they hold to items like permitting fees, licensing fees, etc., so that overall you can legally write off as many expenses as possible. Homework. Today we are going to assign homework in preparation for the next lesson. You will be reading from the attached ebook, Getting Started in the California Cannabis Industry, and specifically we're going to ask you to read the section on California trademarks, starting on page 22. We want to thank you. If you have any questions, you can find us at www.agoracbusinessservices.com or agoracbusinessservices@gmail.com or www.daleschaferlaw.com or daleschaferlaw@gmail.com. Again, we would ask that you keep your eye out and watch for the following programs coming soon. Our local permitting program will include land use or conditional use as well as business operating permits. Our state licensing program will include information on how to apply to the Bureau of Cannabis Control for retail distribution and microbusiness, as well as the California Department of Food and Agriculture for cultivation and the California Department of Public Health for manufacturing. Our compliance officer program will include common local rules, as well as state licensing regulations and supplemental agencies such as Fish and Wildlife, water boards, and Cal OSHA. Our cannabis administration program will include human resources and employee management, as well as legal calendaring and timeline management, local and state application submission, and marketing regulations. Thank you.